Today I think it's time we revisit good old Edgar Allan Poe for one of his most classic short stories, The Telltale Heart. The story starts out with an unnamed narrator who is very nervous, as he makes sure you know. But he assures you that he is not crazy, and right off the bat we know that this guy's nuts. Don't believe a word he says. He tries to cover it up by claiming that he has heightened senses, and he can hear things all around the earth, all the way up to the high heavens. You know, completely normal stuff. But now he shall convince you by calmly telling his story as proof that he is not crazy. So he's got this old dude who lives next door. He's a pretty nice guy who's never done anything to wrong him. The only downside is this old guy has a hideous eye. It looks like it belongs to a vulture, pale blue with a film over it. Ugh, and since I hate anything having to do with eye injuries, I'd rather not look up what a film is. I'm just gonna pretend that he's got a projector shining on his eye showing a movie. I guess the narrator's got a distaste for eye injuries too, because he antagonizes this guy over his eye. I mean, he could just not look at it. But no, just the idea of this eye is enough to throw the narrator into a panic attack, so he decides the only way he's gonna get any peace of mind is by killing him. The narrator sneaks into the old man's room every night to shine a light on the eye, waiting for the perfect chance to strike. He does this for 7 days, but every time the old man doesn't wake up, he can't bring himself to do it. It almost seems like the narrator's fetishizing this idea of sneaking into the old guy's bedroom and thinking about killing him. I mean, he's getting really excited just thinking about—
Hey, are you talking about Telltale Heart? I love that story.
What? Who are you?
Just another fellow fan of Mr. Poe. Hey, have you talked about the symbolism of the clouded eye and how it could represent the clouded sanity of the narrator?
No, just the narrator's eyeball fetish.
Well, there could be more to it than that.
What do I look like, some kind of scholar? I'm just here for the part where he dismembers the old dude. Hey, you seem to know a lot about this story. Mind helping me out with this summary?
Sure, let's do it.
So anyway, like I was saying, the eye seems to represent the narrator's distorted perception of reality, much like how the old man's own perception is distorted because of—
Are you just rewording everything that I just said and claiming it as your own?
Sorry, I'm an English major. It's just in my nature. You want to take it from here?
On the 8th visit to the old man's house, the man finally wakes and the narrator seizes his perfect opportunity to move in for the kill. The old man screams once, but the narrator quickly shuts him up by crushing him with his bed. The narrator waits until he no longer hears the old man's heartbeat, and then lifts up the bed to make sure that he is in fact dead.
Yeesh, that's brutal. Although, I half expected him to stab the eye or carve it out Black Cat style because he seemed to hate the eye specifically so much.
Would you want to get that close to the weird, festering eye?
Touche. So now that the disgusting eyeball man is out of the picture forever, the narrator cuts him up like a block of cheese and hides him under the floorboards. Not like a block of cheese. Kinda like how when you're a little kid and you clean your room by shoving everything under your bed.
So now that the narrator doesn't have to think about the evil eye anymore, things should be shaping up nicely for him, right? Haha, wrong! 3 policemen show up at the door. The neighbors apparently called them after hearing a scream, and the narrator now has to cover up his lies.
The narrator lies and claims that the old man is out of town, and he's just there taking care of his house while he's away, and sleeping there. That's kind of weird. What was that scream? That was just me, singing. Yeah, old Vulture Eye hates to have his house completely silent while he's away.
Pretty sure that's not how it happens. The narrator lets the police investigate around the house and they find nothing out of the ordinary. Well, either these policemen suck at their jobs or this narrator is really good at cleaning up after himself.
You mind if I look around for a little bit? No, not at all. See, nothing unusual around here. Hey, a penny! No, wait, hold on! No, that's just my, laundry knife. Alright, well, that makes sense to me. You're in the clear. The narrator gets to chatting casually with the officers when suddenly he starts to hear a ringing in his ears. It starts out quiet at first, but it gets progressively louder and louder the guiltier he feels as he sits on top of the poor old man's corpse.
The narrator grows so paranoid that he begins to fear that the officers can hear the sounds too, which are starting to sound like the rhythmic thumping of a clock.
Oh god, I hate clocks!
Oh no, it sounds like the old man's heartbeat.
Oh, that's much scarier. The narrator now believes that the officers are fully aware of the murder, and they're just here making a mockery of his horror. The nerve. And that's when he confesses.
They're here! Under the floorboard!
The narrator rips up the planks to reveal the shredded up pieces of the old man's body. Damn, he would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for that meddling heartbeat. Well, that's where the story ends, but I assume the narrator gets his ass hauled off to prison, where most of Poe's narrators seem to end up.
So this was the narrator's proof that he wasn't crazy, huh? He's not a very good storyteller, is he? Talk about unreliable narrators.
Oh, that reminds me. The moral. The moral of this story is...
Oh wait, may I do the honors?
Oh yeah, sure, go ahead.
I think that the moral of this story is that a person's guilt will always get the better of them and expose their crimes in the end. The narrator thought he had the situation under control, but his guilt overwhelmed him, and the only one who exposed him in the end was himself. Is that what you had in mind, Katie?
Yeah?
What were you really thinking?
The moral of this story is that old men should not have an eye that looks like a vulture's because that is weird and creepy. Only vultures should have vulture eyes.
I guess that works too.
Wonderful weather we're having.